Okay, I just want you to know. I'm just like all of you. We're all affected emotionally, so we'll get to all of that. Now, tonight is a special Fader night. Since we can't do a show on Thursday, we'll be traveling and heading up to Mount Shasta. If you'd like to go to Mount Shasta and watch the eclipse and hang out at the Eclipse of Disclosure Conference, just go to their website. It's over at jimmychurchradio.com, which apparently right now is not even running. And get tickets and information. And let's see if we're up and running yet. Yeah, we're back. We're back. That's what happens when so many, we're cleared to get a big barrage of people at the beginning of the show each night. And you have to understand that the amount of people that go to jimmychurchradio.com drop dead at 7 p.m. It's a huge number. And we have software and things in place and duplicate sites and things can roll over. We have all of that, right? But sometimes, boom, it's just what goes on. Okay. So anyway, head over to jimmychurchradio.com. Click on my volume level is low. Okay, let me fix that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so that'll fix that. Okay, now Eclipse of Disclosure will be heading up there Thursday, so there's no Fader night, right? We're going to do a best of replay. It's probably going to be David Wilcock from the night before, but so we're trying to debate how to handle this week. Because Fader night is such a dynamic, cool night, getting phone calls and talking, hanging out. It's a family, right? And we weren't able to do that because we couldn't move the guest around this week. And then today, it just presented itself. This was not that big of a deal with Robert David Steele. It's just that he could not do the show tonight. He had his own reasons for that and wanted to reschedule or do something else or maybe tape during the day, and we don't do that. This is a live show. I will never, running a tape is not cool. First off, let me explain to you why we don't do that. We have bunker cams, right? So if I'm talking to somebody live, right? If it's a tape, that ain't going to work, is it? The second thing is phone calls and interaction and Twitter and everything else that goes on live during the show. If it is just a tape broadcast, then it's just a podcast. This is a live radio show, and that's a big difference there. So we don't do that. And we have made accommodations over the years. I think we have run twice. We taped a broadcast for one reason or another. And you don't even know which ones. And we had to because of an emergency, not because of anything else. But we always run live. And if a guest can't run live, then we don't book that guest. It's that simple. Okay, so that's what went down with Robert David Steele. And that's it. I will not ever deceive this audience. This is a live show. There's no way that I could pull it off. Okay, moving on. Let's get off that subject. All right, so tomorrow night, Laird Scranton's going to be here. We're going to talk about all of his recent research. I want to talk about lost history. I want to get some Dogen in there, the gods of Egypt, prehistory. We're going to do all of that tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night, David Wilcock is back. Now, David has taken a few months off. He needed a life break. That's what he called it. Air quotes, life break. And he's got so much stuff going on in his personal life. He had to take the time off. But he's back. And he is back right here on Fade to Black. So we're going to do that on Wednesday night. And then Thursday, we head up to Mount Shasta. Okay, so that'll be a best of replay on Thursday night. Very excited about this weekend. I know there's going to be a ton of Fadernauts up there. Looking forward to hanging out with all of you guys. Bearing Optics is going to be there, our night vision company. So they're going to be up there. We're going to have some really cool night vision events. The eclipse will be on Monday. I can't wait. Jay Widener, Laura Eisenhower, man, Joe O'Donnell. Okay, so great weekend. And, of course, Corey Good speaking, too, as well. Let's see. I'm trying to remember everybody. Jordan Sather is going to be up there. So come and hang out with all. Oh, Teresa is going to be there. So come and hang out with all of us and expect a really fun, great, packed weekend. And then, of course, we're going to see. And I was looking where the path of the eclipse is going across. We're going to be just south of 100%. So I'm thinking, 90. Looking at the rest of the country and the rest of the world, where Mount Shasta is in the path of this, we're right underneath it. We're not going to get the full deal, but it's going to be close enough for us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to do that celebration on Monday morning. Okay, so that's our week. Welcome. It is Monday here on Fade to Black. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio, Facebook, YouTube, everything's Fade to Black. Church Radio. The website is up and running now, so I can say go over to the website, click, follow, like, and subscribe. The sandbox is hashtag F2B. And if you want to come and join the conversation, you can do so there. Also, which runs live in front of me, you can also go to one of the chat rooms. Okay. Email throughout the show, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Simple enough. Just make it good, and I will see it in here. If it's not good, then I just don't see it. We get way too much email, so just make sure it's cool. I'll get it in here. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. We have over 700 archive shows, custom apps, Apple, Android, all platforms, just $2 a month. Go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the podcast banner. Or in addition to, or besides that, your choice, do both. You can become a Fadernight. Go to our membership section on the site. You get the Bunker Cam commercial-free downloadable archives. And if you get the Game Changer, you even get your Fade to Black gear. Check out all of our sponsors. Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, River Moon Coffee, New Pharma, Ancient Life Oil, and Studio Dome Speakers. All of their banners over at jimmychurchradio.com with the promo codes. Life Change Tea, the promo code is Fader, Fader. Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today, the one and only Steve Martin is 72. Now, yes, he's he's all that. Yeah, okay, I get it. But two of the greatest movies of all time, My Blue Heaven and The Jerk. Happy birthday, Steve Martin. Susan Olsen today is 56. Played Cindy Brady on The Brady Bunch. Susan Olsen, 56 years old. All right. Don't forget to check out UniWiki, uniwiki.org. Sign up. Take the survey. We are launching another wing on the Game Changer Network, along with Modern Masters, UniWiki, Game Changer, Fade to Black. Yeah. Okay. It is taking off. Thank you for this, Bob. He just sent the path of, yeah. So as you can see, it's going right. It's like, it's almost, yeah. We're gonna get almost all of the eclipse. Yeah, judging from this map. Thank you for that, Bob. I will retweet that right now. We're gonna get almost all of it. Okay. All right. Let's see. On this day in history, OTD, 1994, the terrorist known as Carlos the Jackal is captured by French intelligence agents, by the way. Since there was no extradition treaty with Sudan where he was caught, the French agents sedated and kidnapped him. Yeah. Fader fact. There are only 4 artists who have achieved a top 40 hit every decade since the 1980s. Now, do you know who those 4 artists are? I'm going to watch Twitter right now since it's Fader Night. There are only 4 artists who have achieved a top 40 hit every decade since the 1980s. All right? So I'll tell you the first 3. Let's see. I'm going to let that go. I want to see who can guess who these 4 artists are. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say it again. There are only 4 artists who have achieved a top 40 hit every decade since the 1980s. Who are they? Okay? You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You can't even Google it. So forget about that. Well, maybe you could probably cheat. But judging from the delay here, it's tough. It's tough. There are only 4. I'll come back to that. Tonight is a special Fader night. And since we can't do a show on Thursday, Prince is not one. Nice guess, but Prince is not one. I didn't catch it. Melinda Leslie suggests Gen 4 as the best. There is no Gen 4. There is no such thing as Gen 4. Just so you know. Okay? There is no such thing as Gen 4 night vision. Bon Jovi, no. Bon Jovi is a negatory. All right, let's see. Come on, keep it going. Let's see here. U2 is one. Okay, so U2. Very good. That was Ant in Oz. Elton John, no. Mark Tarana says he never listens to music. Okay, all right. I'll buy into that. Let's see here. Def Leppard, no. 4 artists since the 1980s, every decade, right? So that's the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. Okay? 4. Only 4. 4. I thought the Fadernauts were better than this. Madonna, yes. Okay, Madonna, so that's 2. The Stones, no. Guns N' Roses, no. Rush, no. Metallica, no. That's actually a good guess, though. You would think Metallica might be in there. But we're talking here top 40 hit. Metallica's, but nonetheless. So, no, the Stones, no. Okay, so we have 2. We have Madonna and U2. Okay, Steve, you cheated. Steve cheated. Steve officially cheated. Casper Parks guessed Bruce Springsteen. Chili Peppers. Nope. And I'm going on the record. Steve, you have to stand in the corner because you cheated. Steve, 5-minute timeout on Twitter. You have to go stand in the corner. Sting, no. Come on. You guys are missing the obvious here. All right, I'm going to give it up because I've got other stuff I want to talk about. Okay? Michael Jackson and Weird Al Yankovic. And I'm only saying Weird Al because Steve cheated. Bowie. No, I just gave it to you. So, yep, U2, Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Weird Al Yankovic. All right, opening up the phone lines. I'm going to talk right now, and then we'll get back right after the bottom of the hour break, and we'll jump straight into phone calls. Okay, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Now, it's this. We had a pretty traumatic week over at the house because we had a water heater break. Okay, all right. Yeah, that kind of stuff happens. It's just, that's what you own a house and you've got to deal with it. You don't call up the landlord. You call up the insurance company and you call people and have them come over. And it reminds me of the Frank Zappa song, Flakes. So that's what we had to go through. Now, our insurance agent, the adjuster, he did really good. His name's Tim. He was cool. A couple of the service companies that came over, first one, I'm not going to say who the name was, but they failed. So I told them to take a hike. Second one came over. They got the job done. And now our house is tented out. We have 2 tents, one in the garage, one in the kitchen, and we're dealing with all of that. Cut the house apart, water damage, everything else. The good news is no mold. Okay, that was the good news. Can you believe it? You expect the worst. But getting up early every morning, having these guys come over and deal with this. And then this weekend, this rally thing that kicked off here in the United States. And I don't want to, in Charlottesville, to get into specifics here, but there is no place for racism here in the United States from anybody. I mean, look, listening to this show right now, probably I could say with 100% certainty there are no racists that listen to this show. They would not get off on this show. There's nothing to get off on this show. So I would be speaking to dead air out there, and I get that. So that being said, the memories came flooding back for me, and the reason why I just thought that this country had moved on, and I know that there are still idiots out there. I realize that, but I went through segregation. I went through the 60s, even though I was young, but I was still old enough, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old to see what was going on in this country and to understand what was going on. I was hip to all of that. But what I did do that was heavy for me is the segregation that happened in the United States in probably 73, 74. I'm guessing about the year here. For sure, 74 it started. And busing. And the forced tensions that was put on the country at that time by the feds was extraordinary. It was a heavy duty thing. So they were taking the inner city children, throwing them on buses, taking them out to the suburbs to integrate and to segregate them into, all white schools, all black schools, and the vice versa was going on, busing downtown. And I say downtown, but anyway, the tensions were there. And here I am in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, going through this busing phenomena and the tensions that were created. And I got to tell you, I didn't like it. And the rest of the country, it was like this forced tension that was created. It was forced on us. And there were the fights that were going on in school. In my school, I saw it. I remember one day in 7th grade, they let us out of school early. This is public school 103 in Indianapolis. And they let us out because a riot broke out at John Marshall High School. And I remember them announcing it on the PA system, the speaker into the classroom, and to be safe and to go. I was like, wait, why would they release kids? Really, everybody else, your parents aren't at work, right? But they're going to let the school go free. It was like, what? And we're freaking out. I'm walking home from school, police cars, ambulances, this, that, news, just everywhere. Because a couple of blocks away is John Marshall High School, and they're having a freaking riot where my 2 brothers were going to school at the time. They were there. Now, I went through this tension. The tension was insane. It was insane. And I just thought that this country had grown up past all of that. We're still the greatest country in the world. And look, people are going to listen to this, hear me say that from Europe or from around the world and say, hey, you're not the greatest. Well, you know what? Whatever country you live in, you're supposed to think that is the greatest country in the world. Wherever you live, that's part of being a citizen and loving your country. I live here. I love this country. It's the greatest country in the world. And we are beyond this. We are I thought we were. And we have to and last year with Ferguson and Baltimore, it's just like nuts. Nuts. I don't know what is flaming this fire. A lot of it is the media. But this kind of hatred and online hatred, I don't know. I just want to, I don't know how to get around it, without having censorship and everything else that we're supposed to, right? It's called maturing and growing up. And I thought that we were above it and beyond it. So anyway, all right, let's get to the open lines. This is Fade to Black, Fadernight. I'm in a great mood. We finally have overcome the first hurdle with the water heater over at the house. So things are good. Things are good. They're looking up. It's Fade to Black. It is Fadernight. Open lines right now. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Open lines are next. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at KGRAradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. KGRAradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Lines are open right now. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All right, I do want to talk about what went down this weekend. I do. How did the media affect you? It played off on all of the major media outlets all weekend. We were dealing with, see, this is the thing. And I'm talking about Charlottesville, and I'm also talking about North Korea and the United States. So did this affect you, and how are you perceiving it? And were you around for the darkness of what was going on in the 60s and 70s here with segregation, desegregation, all of those subjects? How do you remember those days? Okay, so phone lines are open, 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695. And North Korea, the United States, China, Iran, Russia, and what is going on right now in South Korea, of course, and Japan come into this. What's going on the peninsula there, and do you think that this is the possible setup for a false flag operation? It would be interesting to see this happen in front of us in advance. It's another thing when a false flag goes down and you don't know anything about it. It happens. We got to sort it out. And it's a whole nother thing when we are watching it, the possibility of one play out in front of us in real time. So with that, phone lines are open. Let's head straight to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, this is Captain. How are you, sir?
Hey, Captain, how are you?
Well, Jimmy, let me say this. You are so spot on about what went on in Charlottesville. It was indeed a false flag. It was a setup for the whole world to see, period. It was set up by none other than the person in the White House. And I'm telling you, this is not good. This is not good. He confessed to be clean from the KKK and these other hate groups, and still he has 3 people on his administration that works for him right now, and they're all a part of this. And this president needs to step down.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something else, and again, Captain, I appreciate your input and point of view, because the part of having a very large audience and the internet and the way that the show runs, we are able to, because my voice, my point of view is singular. You know what I mean? And once you go wider and broader, you have all that brain power and other opinions and thoughts and investigation and research, and we draw it to the center and we get to it. And that's always very important. There's another thing that I want to bring to the table that I don't understand. In addition to what you just said, think about this. When we fall under the freedom of speech abilities here, right? That our founding fathers and everything else. So that complicates the issue, right? But I am here to say that there are many, many countries in this world where if you are representing a racist group or neo-Nazis or anything like that, you cannot you go to jail, right? That's it. And here in the United States, because we value freedom of speech so much that it doesn't matter who you are, that you are able to assemble. But if it goes to violence, if it goes to that, like this was ready to go that direction from the word go, I don't understand why they were able to assemble. If you are going to assemble on that premise, and you go and you look at the hate speech and some of the things that were done in advance of this gathering, it's just like, wait a minute here, you know. But what do? We're stuck. We're stuck because we have the Constitution. What do we do, Captain? This is what's ugly. What do we do? What do we do?
Jimmy, let me say this. Very quickly. You know, you have what is called police forcing. Police forcing. When that took place, where was the police at when those people were fighting one another?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
I did not see 1 inch of policing out there at all when the folks were fighting one another.
Right.
That would tell you something. They had all type of armament. They had guns. They had sprays. They had the armor. They had all type of stuff.
Yep.
So, that goes to show you
Right.
There's something wrong with that whole setup there.
Right.
And it smells like a false flag to me.
I know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Captain, you're right. When I saw little clips of video of that, I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on a minute here. This is way beyond some kind of demonstration. This is something else. Hey, Captain, thank you so much, man. I got calls backed up here. Let me get to all of this. It's about to get pretty interesting. And thank you so much for your input. I value that. Thank you so much. Let's just say, hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Lost at Sea in North Carolina.
Lost at Sea. What's your real name?
Glenn.
Okay, Glenn. What's on your mind?
I wanted to talk about this stuff going down in Charlottesville tonight.
Okay. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm actually from Charlottesville. I was born and raised there, grew up there. I actually graduated from UVA.
Right.
There's a lot going on that has not been reported in the media. The whole backstory about why this supremacist rally was chosen to be held in Charlottesville, none of that I don't believe has been discussed.
Like what?
Well, Charlottesville has always been kind of a racially divided town. There were a lot of racial problems when I was growing up, like back in the 60s and 70s.
Yep.
Just recently, earlier this year, there was this big brouhaha. It was all in the local papers for weeks and weeks about I don't know if there were city council members behind it or what, but this story came out that this 13-year-old African-American girl felt uncomfortable walking through one of the downtown parks named Lee Park, which had been there for years and years. She was uncomfortable walking by the General Lee statue every day because of what the General Lee statue supposedly represented to her. I mean, the statue had been there for decades, Jimmy. No one had ever had a problem with it. So, social media today, it helps whip these kind of things up, and there was this big social media campaign to have the statue removed. The statue got removed, and once they found out that they could get the statue removed, it's like they've gone on this campaign now to just start erasing pieces of history all around Charlottesville, everything from before the Civil Rights Movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the impetus for why the supremacists picked Charlottesville as a place to stage this rally.
Right.
Now, I don't condone what they stand for or what they do or anything like that. I think it's kind of repulsive. But also, through social media, people who were against this campaign, they got together a bunch of people to go down there and confront this rally, and that's really what started all the violence. If people had just left the rally alone, the whole thing would have blown over. The way to fight rallies like that is to ignore those people instead of going and getting into a big fight.
Yes, and you 100% correct on that. But let me just say this: by allowing the memories of and the things that were so wrong about the past when it comes to racism and bigotry, and those memories are still fresh. They have not gone away. And it's like you're trying to ignite the fire by allowing it to happen in the first place. You're asking for it. And there's no way that you can tell the people that are opposed to bigotry or racism and some of the things that are very negative and wrong about that. You can't ask them. No, you can't. Now you can't respond. So now we have a a catch-22, don't we, Glenn? We have a catch-22.
Well,
it's gonna run in a circle. So how do you stop a catch-22? Well, you don't allow it to start in the first place. But we can't because we have the Constitution. Now we have another catch-22. And it's the reason why this country is so great is that we allow this stuff to happen. But when you start and the right to gather and to speak, if the numbers are that great in this white supremacist movement thing, if the numbers are that great, then how did we get here? How did we allow that to happen? Right? That we have to address, and it's difficult. It's difficult. How do we address these issues? I don't know how we got here.
Jimmy.
I don't know.
I mean, we can't just say, everything we don't, every kind of philosophy that we don't like, we don't say, well, you can't hold a rally because you're going to disgust some people by that.
Right. But let me tell you something. When I would think, okay, check this out. What if, okay, Glenn, this is what I was thinking over the weekend. Now, just imagine this for a second. What if, okay, the white supremacists, the KKK, they're there with their helmets and their shields, right? And they're there and they want to march. And what if the other side, right, the other side was a line full of people over 70, right?
Yeah.
Over 70 that were lined, locked, elbow, arm in arm, and they were confronted with that. Would a fight break out? Or would the majority of those wipers go, hey, man, I'm not going to go bash the head in of an old lady. I'm just not going to. No, I'm sorry. This is where I stop things. Right? And I would think that for some reason that who they were facing, people start throwing rocks, and the next thing you know, this thing jumps off. But maybe we're handling this completely the wrong way, and I don't know. I don't know where the education starts. I just thought that we had grown up and we have moved past this, and it's okay. I get to have your own beliefs, however rowdy and crazy they are, but it's okay to think outside the box sometimes, and we need to have those freedoms. If we clamp down on those freedoms, as much as I disagree with it and I hate it, it just makes my blood boil. But that's what makes us different than the rest of the world. That's what makes us different. Now we just got to figure out a way to deal with it. And I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, what's your favorite?
I wanted to call in just to make.
What's your favorite band?
My favorite band.
Yes.
Massive Attack.
Massive Attack. Okay. Now, great answer. Massive Attack. Now, when you were a kid, did that piss your parents off?
When I was a kid, I listened to Led Zeppelin, and yeah, it did.
It pissed your parents off, didn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and your parents thought, oh, our kids are just out of control. Oh, my God, this music is dry. Can't you listen to some nice bands, Glenn? Can't you listen to, right, the Dave Clark Five? They were a great band.
Elvis Presley.
Right. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's okay, and you grew up to be a cool person. You did not grow up to be some serial bank robber, and we need to really recognize that. Now, if for this to go to the extreme where cars are being driven into crowds of people, hold the phone. We need to really, that is a line we don't cross. And that we need to address. That part of it, that we need to slow this. We need to pump the brakes on this truck. I don't dig it. Now, also, Charlottesville, I think, and I want your opinion on this. once you get outside of, like Charlottesville, the same issues in Charlottesville were all across the United States in the 60s and 70s. It was happening. Look what was going on in different. Look at Chicago, right? Think about what went down there. It went down here out west in Los Angeles, where we had the riots in Watts. It happened in all of. I was just talking about where I grew up in Indianapolis. These things went on all around the country. So when you speak about Charlottesville, I'm here to tell you that the same tensions that were there were in every city. And we dealt with it one city, one school, one student, one child at a time. And I felt that we got through it. Comedians dealt with it. Television dealt with it. And we tried to soften the blow and grow up and get past it. And I thought that we did, because I don't see color. I don't. So I have issues with, I just do. I don't understand why some people have these beliefs, because it's not the way that I look at things and I look at life. I just don't do it that way. What made me who I am? A lot of different things did. But I really felt that most of the country, if not all of the country, was with me. So what is your opinion on that? Do you think that it was just isolated with Charlottesville?
I don't think it was isolated, just Charlottesville. We just had some really bad things happen. We had riots in Charlottesville in 1970. One of the larger grocery stores, a Safeway, was burned down, and police cars trashed, and it lasted probably a week. And then, I graduated high school in 1978. And even in 1978, we were having racial problems in my school, and huge white against black brawls in the streets and people getting stabbed.
Yeah, it's crazy. And if you just stop and think about it for a second, Glenn, name a state. We can go all the way across. We can talk about Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, Florida, North, South Carolina, Tennessee, Memphis, Kentucky, Chicago, Detroit. I can go on, New York. I can go on and on and on. This wasn't, you know what I mean? This was a national thing that we were dealing with. And when you go back to the 60s, and this is what's really trippy, man. People don't understand it. We're in 2017. Go back to the 60s. There were people alive in the 60s that went through slavery, right? And I totally get that, man. Somebody's parents were slaves, right? Some people were alive. And so those tensions were real. It was firsthand knowledge and experiences. And those things had to get dealt with. We had to cleanse. We had to grow up. We had to get through it. We had to work it out. We had to apologize. We had to do all of that stuff because it was wrong. But here we are in 2017. You would think, right, that we had worked past that. And here's the other bigger issue. In the 1960s, in 1965, we were just 20 years old after World War II. 20 years. Now, how long is 20 years? Well, think about this. This is 2017. What was 20 years ago? 1997. That seems like yesterday, doesn't it? It's modern history for us. Right. We remember that. So in 1965, what we just went through with all of the craziness that went down with racism in World War II, all of this is still alive, and we were trying to work past things. And we had thought that we had opened the door to respectability. Whatever your beliefs are, go ahead and do that. And that was part of the way we were trying to work through things, and here in 2017, Charlottesville, last year, Ferguson, Baltimore, last year that we weren't supposed to go through this stuff again, and we are. So it just lets us know that these are things that are real in our society today, and we need to deal with it. Now, who is making us deal with it in the way that we are? That's the thing. That's where I step back and go, wait a minute. Who is allowing this rally to happen? Who is allowing this hate to proliferate, out there? Who is allowing things to happen online? Who is feeding the fire?
Who was behind going in, having statues removed, the names of parks changed, the names of buildings changed, things like that?
Right. Well, look, if it goes to, and you're right, I know that some of the statues, or all of them, were just being moved indoors to museums, correct? It's not like the statues, the statues weren't being torn down and melted into, I don't know. But I was under the understanding that they were being moved indoors to museums and outside of public places. So it's not like they are erasing history. No, museums are where you go and see history. So if that is indeed the case, not that big of a deal. But if it goes to public referendum, why not in Charlottesville put it to a vote? Right? Everybody that lives inside the city limits in Charlottesville, inside, not statewide, right? The city itself. What do the citizens of Charlottesville want? Do they want it moved inside to a museum, or do they want it to stay outside in the park and not leave it to the city council, right? And have 5 people vote on it, or 7, or whatever. I don't want to deal or make decisions for the people there, but maybe the people should speak, or did they? I don't know. Did the people of Charlotte vote on it?
I think the fact that the people aren't getting a say is what creates a lot of the animosity.
Right. I totally hear you.
The city council just makes these decisions because of political correctness.
Well, and this is the other part too, Glenn, that really, really offends me, is when you look at these protesters and you look and you see what's happening, and the majority of the front lines there are people with video cameras, right? And taking pictures. And it's like, wait a minute. I'm looking at whatever. It doesn't matter what the protest is. We can talk Charlottesville, but we can pick anywhere in the United States. Remember the Democratic National Convention and the RNC? You remember that? Well, and they're and the majority of the protesters there were not protesters. It was the media, right? And I was just like, what? Wait a minute. So the protesters, they get their adrenaline pumped up because they're on camera, and now they want to throw something or yell or punch somebody because they're on camera. It's like the media is instigating this, and they want the cool video to post online and to feed. And man, it's a bizarre thing. Would human beings act the same? It's kind of like a Girls Gone Wild video, right? It's like roll a video camera and see what happens. And people do stupid things in front of the camera. How much reality TV out there is only happening because video cameras are rolling? Think, and people are idiots. They will do stupid stuff because the camera is rolling. So how much of it is instigated because of that? And look at Charlotte. I know that people came in from out of town, both in opposition to the rally and the people from the rally themselves. The guy that drove the car into the crowd, that idiot, murderer, came from Ohio, right? He's not even it's just like, wait a minute here. Now, and
he wasn't even a member of those Vanguard people, or whoever they call themselves.
Let's not say their name on this show. I don't want to give anybody publicity here. Yeah, let's not even say that. That's not. Yeah, but anyway, yes, no, maybe. I don't know this guy, but I do know that he came from Ohio. And was he riled up because there's video cameras and everything? I don't know. I don't want to downplay this like I'm some kind of child. I'm just saying I really feel that it was so unfortunate, so sad, so uncool on every single level. It just bummed me out, man. It bummed me out. Glenn, I want you to be safe out there. I don't think you guys are going to be having any rallies in Charlottesville anytime soon, my friend.
All right. I just wanted to say I've listened to your show, Jimmy, every night since you were back over on Dark Matter. First time I called in.
That's what I'm talking about, Glenn. This family's the best, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. And be safe out there, okay?
All right. Good night, Jimmy.
Have a great night. Thank you, Glenn. All right, let's get to a break. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Very special Fader night tonight. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get to all of the phone calls all night long. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black Fader Night. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're of the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly ancient life oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go Beckley Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product. What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tappy.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Special Fader night tonight. 323-825-5045. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get to you in just a second. Or 323-275-9695. You have problems getting through on the 323-825 number, call 323-275-9695. We have two phone banks here, folks. It's easy to get through if you do it right. You got to think strategically. You got to think ahead. I'm not getting a hold on one line. Maybe I can get through on the other. There's a thought. 323-275-9695. Yeah, and then on top of everything else with the emotions that are running crazy, we have what's going down with North Korea. Right now, somebody just posted, I don't know if there's anything to this. I don't have the time to get to this. But Kim Fatty Fat has disappeared. I don't know about that. I would like to know. Somebody call in if you've got information on Kim Fatty Fat. I would like to hear from you. That a missile launch could be imminent. Man, if that kicks off, is it a false flag? Is there something else going on here? The mouse that roared, right? Is this playing out right now? But I can tell you, China, I'm going to get to phone calls here. But China said, look, North Korea kicks it off first, then we're gonna stand by. We're gonna go backwards on this. But United States attacks first, well, then we're going to get involved. So, and again, this is only what the media tell. We're not part of any of this. Nobody on this show, no listener, myself included, I don't have a phone number for China. I'm not able to go and communicate with anybody in the Chinese government or the North Korean government. I don't know what's going on, or Seoul or Japan, right? We only know what we are fed. Never forget that. That's it. That's all we get. We are only fed the information. What is true and what is not, we don't know. And it also goes down to the rest of everything else. Every single day, we don't know. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Bev.
Hey, Bev. You've got a very noisy phone line, Bev.
Oh.
Okay. Speak loudly.
That ain't better?
No, it's not. But what's on your mind tonight?
Well, all this stuff going on in yeah. I just went brain dead.
Okay. All right, Bev. We'll call.
I know what. Okay.
Okay.
All those protesters. What are those people teaching their kids? That's what's on my mind.
Yeah, I know. Where do we go wrong, right?
Right, and they're more or less teaching their kids it's okay to hate because you're a person of color.
Yeah, I know.
And they're trying to rewrite history.
Again, all problems. I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
All problems. I don't know what the where we went wrong. I am so glad that I was raised the way I was. In that, me
too.
I mean, all of my parents' friends. I'm serious about this. I mean, were of every race. Of every, I didn't know. I was raised around musicians, and I was raised around cool music and a cool lifestyle. I didn't understand racism. I didn't understand desegregation. From what I didn't understand, and I'm still that way today. In that I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I don't
just
either
don't.
Because when we went to school. And it's probably, it was probably the same way with you. When we went to school, we didn't see color.
Yeah. I remember. I'll tell you.
I had a girlfriend. She was, colored, and she was like my sister. We were that close.
Yeah, I know, and I get it. Hey, Bev, thank you for the phone call.
Okay, Jimmy, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I will, man, it was a noisy phone line. Now it's all quiet in here. Phew-wee. Thank you, Bev. I'll say this. I was with somebody. We were on tour, and we're driving through the South, and we're on tour. And I remember, the guy, we were in the Deep South, And the guy driving, I'm in the passenger seat up front, and the guy driving says to me, there's going to be a race war one day. And I was like, what? What'd you just say? And he goes, and we were driving, and he goes, that over there, that's the Remington factory. And when it kicks off, that's where I'm going. I'm going to go and load up. And I was like, what the heck are you even talking about? And this person that I was listening believed everything that he was saying. I tripped out. I remember just looking out the window going, I need to get out of here. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I have no clue what this person is talking about right now. Total disconnect. And I look back at that and I see what's going on, and I get it, man. There are that mindset is alive. It trips me out. It trips me out. All right. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Can you hear me, Jimmy?
Yes, I can. Who's calling? Okay, I can't.
Jimmy, I think you got two people on the line. It's Eric, and I got the other caller on the line. I'll just wait if you want.
No, you're live now. Okay,
somebody else was on the line.
Nobody
I was on the line when Bev was there, too. That's why it was noisy.
That's because we have many, many phone lines, and you're in a hold bank with everybody else.
It's all good. I'm just excited that you got call-ins on a Monday night, and I'm here at the UFO Watchtower in Hoover, Colorado. And I've never seen so many stars in the sky so clearly ever in my life.
Pretty cool.
It's awesome. And there's mountains. I've done a lot of research. There's mountains over here to my right that are 14,000 feet high. And I've been talking to the locals, and they're telling me that just like up there at the Mount Adams, they're seeing lights going in and out of the mountains up here also.
Yep. What are you seeing?
I've just got here. It's the first night here in this spot. I stayed in Alamosa and Pueblo, Colorado. I didn't get a chance. There's a lot of lightning, and that was fun. But
right,
I'm ready to go. I'm at the bed and breakfast here. The lady that owns this whole little Watchtower community. I'm here. I'm here tonight. I got the night vision goggles.
What are you? Okay, all that is good. But what are you seeing?
I've seen what probably are some satellites because they're blinking and they're stationary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing some massive stars. There's nothing happening yet. This one guy, I met this local guy down. I was stopped into the store and I just had to ask him. I said, "Look, have you seen any strange things in the sky?" And he just went off on this. One time, my wife and I were out here, and there's a red light. And it just was hovering, and he told his whole story, and then he says, "Oh, I've seen many nights. I've seen lights going in and out of those mountains." And he pointed over there, and I'm going to see something tonight. I don't know if I'll see it while I'm on the phone with you right now, but I'm convinced I'm going to see something.
Okay, well, don't forget to videotape.
Yeah. And just so you know, you probably are aware in Colorado, they have you're allowed legally to have recreational marijuana here.
Okay.
And there's lots of places that sell this, and apparently, and if just for people that might happen to come up this way, you can't buy more than a quarter ounce and without leaving the state and getting in trouble. Just for the record, I didn't know that, so I almost left the state and I could have gotten in trouble.
Why? Were you buying pounds?
I bought. I'm not afraid to admit it because it's legal because I have a friend with me.
Right.
But I bought 50 different strains. I bought 1 gram of each, and that made me. I stayed under the legal limit. So I'm going to try to legally transport some of that to Shasta. I know you can't have any, but maybe there'll be other people out there that might be interested.
Oh man!
But I'll have it, and then if somebody wants it, I don't need to know about it.
How much pot? How much pot can you possibly smoke? I mean, look, how many strains did you buy?
This will last for months, Jimmy. This will last for months. This is not like a 1 or 2 week deal. This is a whole rest of the year deal.
How many strains did you say you bought?
Literally 50. I'm not
is that 50?
Every indica sativa hybrid you can think of. L.A. Confidential, White Widow. I mean, you could go down the list. Bubblegum, all of it. Pineapple, this, that.
Okay. Did you say 50?
Yes, I said 50. Yes, it's locked in the trunk.
Okay, 50 strain. Now, if you took a hit a day, which would put me in a zone for weeks, just one hit. But so a hit a day, that's like 2 years. That's a 2-year supply.
I'll tell you what. If you want to talk about missing time,
yeah, no
you're out on the
kidding.
freeway out here driving for 200 miles. You take a little one of those before you get on the road, and you're okay. You can drive, and then suddenly you're there. Like it seems like it was 20 minutes and 4 hours went by.
Do they have any? So, do they have anything called like Little Gray Alien? Do they have any strains like that?
They might. I dropped like $700. I thought, you know what? I'm not spending anymore. I'm not spending money on that. It's like a candy store. I'm not going to any more of the candy stores.
That is too funny. Well, have fun tonight, and with that, you don't necessarily have to use the night vision in the sky. Why don't you start looking for stuff in the woods too?
I was actually in the woods about an hour ago. There's this.
I know you were.
This is awesome. Let me tell you. I got to tell you one quick story. I know you got other callers. I came up here. This was like on the way home because I went up to Denver, and then I went up to Wyoming, and then I'm coming back through. I'm going to go to Dulce, New Mexico tomorrow.
Right.
I'm going to be at the mountain in Dulce.
Right.
Anyway, so the whole deal was I just wanted to kind of get a feel, and my friend of mine owns some property up here. And she said to go and look at this area that she lives at, because if you want to buy land cheap, like a little retirement area. So anyway, I found 6 acres on this mountain that's 9,500 feet up. It's only $40,000, which is a lot, but it isn't a lot compared to California.
Right.
And it's got a view that's just insane. So I might buy it, and then I got some people that maybe we'll put a little house up here, and then it's awesome. Let me tell you. One day, if this comes together, I'll have you and Rita come up here, and you'll thank me for the rest of your life.
I'll talk to you, Eric. Be safe out there. Go smoke some weed. I'll talk to you.
Okay, all right. Good night.
All right, I'll talk to you. 50 strains of weed. 50. Oh man, I suppose, man, it goes to show you how naive I am. I haven't yet walked into a pot store. I would. That's just. All right, anyway, back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Well, this is RJ of the Arctic. Jimmy?
RJ in the Arctic, where pot is now legal too, I believe.
I think so, yeah. I don't spend that much time up here. Well, in the Arctic it isn't, but in Anchorage it is, and of course my home in Vancouver it is, but I don't partake. Maybe when I retire, who knows?
If I walked into a pot store today, I would first off, I would look like a Fed, right? So they would be like, okay, the Feds are here. That's the first. Same thing with you. You look like a cop. Everybody knows you're a cop, right? So you got that against you, right? You can't actually go in and like just have fun and look around. Everybody's going to be looking at you. But I wouldn't know I am so disconnected. I have no idea what the cool bong is today. Do they even call them bongs anymore? I don't even know. But I have no idea about names of weed. I wouldn't even know how to be cool. I
look like an idiot. Yep.
And I used to be. Yeah, right. And I used to be the coolest guy in the room, right? Had all the terminology. I can roll a joint like nobody's business, right? I can do all of that. But I'm no longer the cool guy in the room. I know that I'm not. I just know that I'm not. All right, RJ, what's on your mind tonight, my friend?
Well, in reference to the conversation earlier and, about the events that took place in the South there, I was thinking, there is a way to beat these people back, and it's by hitting them in the pocketbook. And I'll tell you, if you look at September 2000, what the Southern Poverty Law Center did to Reverend Butler and his Aryan Nations Church in Hayden Lake, Idaho. Now, it's suspicious like it might have been set up, but whatever the case, it worked. And that was the lady and her son. They were black, and they had been attacked by guards from Reverend Butler's organization in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Well, somehow she managed to drive out by the compound for whatever reason. I'm not sure what the reasoning was. Her car allegedly backfires, and the Aryan Nation guards open fire on the car, and the car crashes. Well, nobody was injured, thank God, and the bottom line was that this organization, Southern Poverty Law Center, filed a lawsuit and absolutely stripped them of any of their value. They took Reverend Butler's compound and $6.3 million in judgment against them, and they went broke. That's why the Panhandle of Idaho is no longer, a spot where you have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Right. You
And
know,
it was an awesome move, and what happened in Charlottesville, quite frankly, with the injuries and the death, I'm hoping that somebody does the same thing instead of going after the city or whatever. Go after the organization and put a stop to it.
Yeah, I have. How do we? And you're 100% correct on that, RJ. But how do we teach children that to have that kind of belief system, racism and bigotry and all of that is just, and listen to the word I'm going to use here, retarded. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That it is that if you go down that road, you will be looked at as a tard. So how do we do that? Because nothing puts the fear in a child more than being looked at just being stupid. Stupid. And that's...
It's true. And I started my law enforcement career in the Northwest, the northern part of northeastern part of Washington State, where there was a pretty good-sized contingent of folks who had the same beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Cahill brothers were born and raised up in that area. They're the ones that got in the big shootout with the troopers years ago in the South. That was pretty famous. And some other bad stuff. I gave Robert Matthews a parking ticket. That was very interesting when he started to quote addresses of where all the cops lived. And it was Robert Matthews was the guy that was in charge of the, I forgot the name of the organization, but it was one of the worst, where they went out and did armed car robberies throughout the Northwest to support their habits. Anyway, but what I found, living up there and being a police officer, we dealt with a lot of folks like that, and most of them homeschool their kids. So,
that's interesting. They don't social contact. Right.
And that's part of the problem.
Right.
But anyway, sad situation.
Yeah, that's another way to look at it too, as well. It's your social integration and being exposed. I mean, look, you'd be surprised. Everybody, deep down inside, we are all born identical. Identical. And that's it. So all of this has to do with what we were taught and how we were brought up, because you just don't see skin color or anything like that unless you were taught. That's it.
Right.
And
you're absolutely right.
And you listen to your parents, and you listen to your friends, and you listen to these things, and you are influenced by that. But it's so true. How do we? That's the hard work. Randy, it's something that I talk about so much, but let me tell you, it is easy to do the wrong thing, right? It is so hard to do the right thing. And when we talk about this broad problem, nobody wants to combat it. Nobody wants to take it head on. Nobody wants to address it. We would rather ignore it. Why? Because ignoring it is easier. It's easier. Mm-hmm. It's easier. Let's just ignore it. We don't want to deal with it. Life is too short. I'm going to go deal with this other stuff. I'm not going to deal with it. You know what? Well, that's how we get to where we are today. It's because nobody wants to accept the challenge. If you think about what went down with the 60s and those riots and the things that went across the country, you know what? You know what was difficult? It was difficult to rise up and face these issues. It would have been easier for everybody just to ignore it in the 60s, but they didn't. And we need to recognize, the history and the people that fought for the very freedoms that we have today, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they fought for this, and here we are today still dealing with it. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Somehow we got to figure it out. Is it the media? Is it something much deeper rooted than that? Do they want racial divide? I'm talking about the deep state and the cabal and what is running in the background. Do they want this? Do they want civil disobedience? Or knowledge and contentment and education, that goes against the grain, man. They don't want us smart. They don't. They don't want us educated. Randy, thank you for the phone call, man. You are always the voice of sensibility, man. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. See you all later.
Thank you so much, RJ. That's RJ from the Great White North. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Annie.
You're live. Who's this? Okay.
I can't turn.
Yeah, turn me down in the background. Okay, let's go. Who's calling?
Okay, I'm sorry. Are you still there?
Yes. Who's calling?
So.
Okay. All right. You're going to have to call back. No dead air on this show. Sorry about that.
I'm very sorry.
Okay. Are you there? Okay. Yeah. No dead air ever allowed. Let's try another phone call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Kendra in Ventura.
Hey, Kendra. How are you tonight?
Ooh, I don't know, man. I'm kind of tripping out, honestly. Oh, my goddess.
Why?
I feel like Alice in Wonderland going down several rabbit holes while all these Mad Hatters are going more and more insane, talking about nuclear war like they're talking about a tennis match, and it's literally the destruction of humankind as we know it.
Right.
And it's being bantered about as if it's nothing. These people are insane, and it's triggering what is just under the surface in people, which is still latent racism, unfortunately. In pockets of this country, there is, period.
Right.
It's obvious. Now, I come at it from several sides. I grew up in Hollywood, the most diverse place on the planet, let me tell you.
Right.
There were people there and beings, I think, from other planets as well, walking around the boulevard. I lived all over Hollywood until I was 13 years old. And then I was in a kind of a white Mexican, because of my last name, Gonzalez, I am part Mexican, household. And then out here to Ventura, which is definitely very white, but also briefly when I was 12, I was sent to live with my father in Evanston, Illinois. And I was one of two white girls in the entire school. It was a junior high, and when I came back from just 6 months of living with my father, because that just didn't quite work out, and sent back to live with my mom in Hollywood, California, I was 2 grades ahead. Their education system was so far and above Californians, which is sad because we used to be number one when Jerry Brown used to be left back in the 70s, and we actually had free education through university. That's where we decided to spend the money. So it's always about follow the money, and people are now being given permission by what's going on in the halls of our White House. By the way, we the people keep forgetting these whatever they are work for us. Now, I've protested, and I'm also trying to create models here locally so we're not even dependent on any federal anything or any state anything relocalized. So I'm actually Republican in that way, but I'm a Green Party since 94, and so I have a whole different viewpoint of what's going on in the world right now. And we are on the brink of madness, and I just have to laugh at the absurdity. It's almost like makes Bush look like a Boy Scout, and it makes whatever the Democrats were doing, they were just saying they were doing something else. This guy is just blatantly racist and so forth. And so, that's what's refreshing, and that's what the draw is, and I get that. But he is surrounding half of his staff, which is an eighth of what it should be, are Goldman Sachs Wall Street guys. The other half are war hawks that will kiss his you-know-what and not ever argue with him. Throw in some mobsters, I'm sure. Mix it all up with some right-wing nuts, and these people are writing policy and running our government and pissing everybody off. He's like Archie Bunker in a suit. Everyone's pissed at the U.S. right now. I don't think we've been here for a long time. History is written, unfortunately, by the generals, by the winners of battles. Right here in Ventura, a statue of Father Sarah sits in front of our city hall.
Well,
now, some people, right?
Kendra, thank you for the phone call. Ran all the way up to the break. You did 5 straight minutes without a breath. Well,
I could do 5 hours.
Well done. Well done, Kendra. Have a great night, and thank you for calling in.
All right, go back to Tepe.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Kendra.
The base.
You got it. Thank you, Kendra. It's Fadernight, very special Fadernight. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. This is Fade to Black. I'm real Jimmy Church. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
Hi, I'm Matt Ray for U.S. Gold Bureau. I cover the market daily. No matter how strong it gets or what long-term predictions say, you can count on one thing as certain. There will be another crash. It will affect your assets. And when it happens, wouldn't you rather be 2 weeks or even 2 months ahead of the curve? Well, Wall Street insiders have been quietly converting their assets into gold for the last few years. Now it's your turn. Buying gold and silver is easier than buying stocks. With the U.S. Gold Bureau's Investor Guide, it's free, and you learn how to buy precious metals in or out of an IRA or 401k retirement plan. Your investment's shipped directly to your home and is 100% insured and guaranteed. You control your investments and shelter them against the stock market, politics, and unknown threats. Act while your dollar is still worth something. Call U.S. Gold Bureau, 800-885-GOLD. U.S. Gold Bureau, 800-885-GOLD, 800-885-GOLD. Call today.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Very special Thursday night Fader night tonight. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I do want to hear from you. Lots of craziness going on out there right now. And part of this is what I'm really tripping on. When we are talking about North Korea, and the play on this, and Kim Jong-un, Fatty Fat, is out of the public eye for the last 2 weeks. And look, if I was him, I'm in a bunker somewhere deep underground. Because any little flare-up, they make a mistake, they do another missile test, they fire something right now, things are going to go to the next level, and they're going to go to the next level quick. There are specialists out there that are analyzing this. I've talked to quite a few people on this subject matter, and there are things that are going to play out quick. This is what I think. The Chinese are not going to react. That's my take. And what I mean by that is we will take the opportunity to wait for him to make the next move. That's my thing. I'm talking about the possibility of a false flag or something like this. In order for us to fire, we will immediately, it's not going to be nuclear, it will be strategic, tactical, conventional weapons. But every single mobile missile site, every nuclear testing site, deep underground or whatever, is going to get hit all at the same time. Bam. Okay? Wherever he is, the reason why he has not been seen in public lately is, I'm telling you right now, we have drones over and satellites over North Korea, and if he is out in the public anywhere during any of this, he's gone. Done. Toast. Okay, that's the way that it's going to play out. I'm just telling you. The Chinese are not going to defend anything if they fire first. And if they fire again, I'm telling you, we have been set up for this in the public to expect it to play out like this. So the poking in the chest has happened. The rhetoric has gone to another level. Trump has fired back in the same language that he has been speaking in. We've spoken back in the same language. So we have let them know. That's it. Next thing, everything is all done. That's how it's going to play out. Should this have happened before? We are not the world's policemen. I just wish that we were not in that role. But the fact is, we are. And it just, once you call bluffs, and now we have taken the art of the bluff to the next level, This is about to kick off. Will it go nuclear? Absolutely not. There is no way it will go nuclear. That part just ain't going to happen. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hello, Mr. Jimmy Church.
How are you, Steve? How does it feel?
Good one, brother.
How does it feel to go to the front of the line? You got the front of the line pass. How does that feel?
Well, that feels awful privileged. I don't know if I deserve that privilege or not, but I feel awful privileged.
All right. What?
But I guess that's just part of being an old school Fadernight.
Yeah, man. You got a hall pass. You got a hall pass, man. You got a hall pass. So what's on your mind tonight, Steve? I need some words of wisdom. What's on your mind?
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about North Korea. If these countries, well, first of all, you got all the mainstream media that is just playing into this huge propaganda machine. I think it was Fox put on news the other day the actual flight time of the ICBMs if they were launched from North Korea to Los Angeles, to Dallas, to Chicago, New York. Why would a news agency put the flight times of a rocket launch from North Korea on the news? What are they trying to provoke? It's like they are trying to provoke more drama and more into this fear than what's really going on. It's just a posturing show. It's like you said, nothing is going to come down to any kind of nuclear exchange. Like you said, that is the furthest thing that is going to happen ever again on this planet, is someone lobbing off nuclear bombs. Now, I'm not saying that eventually someone in the future don't get their hands on some kind of dirty bomb, some terrorist organization somehow or another is able to do something like that. But as far as a country lighting off a true nuclear missile at another country, it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen. There would be, I don't care who the country is, the flashback from that would be devastating for the country that did. If China would bust North Korea's tail so fast, we wouldn't have to worry about firing back at North Korea. China would absolutely light them up instantly.
I tend to agree with that. I tend to agree. Just imagine if we had, some small little country, like like North Korea, that was around us, that was threatening, and developing it here in this hemisphere. It would not be tolerated. It just would not. And flip it over the other direction. What if North Korea was threatening China or Russia? Right now. I mean, right now. What if it was the opposite? And what if it would be over? It would be regime change immediately. And
absolutely.
That's the way that I look at it. And I think China now, enough is enough is enough is enough. Because China knows that if North Korea did something stupid, like test a nuclear weapon on a missile, if that actually happened, then we've got a big problem, and that big problem would be nuclear stuff going off on the Korean Peninsula. And then we have the nuclear fallout and the issues with Seoul and South Korea. It's not just as simple as we're going to go in and nuke North Korea. and which way are the winds blowing. Let's not get into that kind of rhetoric and that kind of theory. That's just stupid to go there. And that's where that would be the next step. It just wouldn't happen. There would be no Kim Jong-un fatty fat, but there would also be no Korean Peninsula. And all of the other... Do you think China wants nuclear fallout blowing all over China?
No.
Right? Think about that.
First of all, China wouldn't want anything like that to... China doesn't want anything or can't afford for anything to happen to the U.S. China's economy is solely based on the American economy.
That's right. 100%.
If 100%. I have dealings with people in China, and we discuss and talk about the terms, especially when the coal industry was bad, years ago. And I was selling things to China for their coal industry, and when things started to really get bad here, their coal industry also slumped. And we both discussed the reasons why their coal industry was slumping was because that the U.S. coal industry was slumping, and that everything was in relation to our economy. So the last thing they need is for anything to happen with the U.S. that disrupts our economy, which is going to disrupt their economy. And they have billions of people to feed and to take care of.
Yeah, that and there's another thing that comes into play here is we have, over the last 30, 40 years, done our very best to make sure that every country on this planet hates us, right? Hates us. It was the other way around when everybody depended on us, and we came off World War II, and we were all, allies, and we had a really cool image. Believe it or not, at one point it was actually like that. But we have done everything that we can with Vietnam, with Libya, the Middle East, on and on, just to make sure that and look at, we had the Korean conflict where we were fighting China. That went to a stalemate. That didn't end well. It ended in a stalemate. So we have made sure that we have got absolute enemies, people that actually would like to see the United States fall. And that goes with the Soviet Union. That goes with China. It goes with big swaths of the Middle East right now. Nothing would make Iran happier or Iraq happier or Syria happier, right, than to see us fail. And throw Russia and China into the mix. There are big chunks of the world right now that would just absolutely laugh if we were able to stumble. So how do they pull that off? Now, I'm not saying that that's inevitable, but I'm saying that we don't have a cheerleading squad behind us right now. We don't.
No, we don't. And look at China's power plays in the South China Sea.
Yeah.
China is laying claim to the South China Sea.
Period.
They're laying solid claim to it.
But see, this is what's really trippy. I have to say this. I don't care if I make enemies right now, but we have been doing the very same thing with our Navy on every ocean, sea, inlet, water thing on this planet. We have Navy. Exactly right. Yeah, we have Navy everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere you turn, there's a United States Navy base with a flotilla, with an aircraft carrier and destroyers and submarines floating by. And then we want to complain about something else going on. We need to be very, very careful about how the rest of the world looks at us. Look, there are Americans right now that are listening to this going, man, church, man, that's un-American, man. You can't look. You have to look at it in a global sense, And
that's right. In a global sense.
Yeah. Yep. And we have extended I don't know how much, if we took all of that money back and pulled all our navies back and shut down things and dumped that money back into the United States economy, how things would be different. You know, we can look at the hard numbers and go, well, we could take X amount and X, but the point is we have gone so far now to the other side that we don't have an alternative but to continue. And I'm here to say, and I mean this, when it comes to NATO, when it comes to our navies, when it comes to the way that we're protecting we prop up so many governments because they don't have to spend money on defense because we are their army, right? That the money that is created by feeding this defense machine that is out there, that if we cut back on NATO, and we cut back on the Navy, and we cut back on all of this, then companies here in the United States are going to complain because we're cutting back on defense spending. It's like we've gotten ourselves into this hole now that the money is so big, we don't have a way to backpedal. And that is part of
we're in a position where we're too big to backpedal.
Yeah,
you know, we've already controlled every ocean and, like you said, every seaway. I mean, we have more damn aircraft carriers than most countries have frigates.
Yes,
you know.
Yes.
And I understand at one point in time there was a need for us to not control the ocean waterways and the transportation system where, you know, probably 60 to 80% of the world's products were shipped, you know, by sea. Well, but that's over now. The danger of that is non-existent anymore. You know, yes, there are certain countries that, you know, you don't want to get caught selling within 20 miles of Somalia. You know, you're liable to get your vessel hijacked there. But, you know, for 99.9% of the seas, it's a good situation for these super, you know, cargo vessels to sail under. There's no need for us to have to escort and to patrol the vast oceans of the world that we do now.
You know,
there's no need for it.
I'll tell you, when we have in excess outside of the United States, 1,000 military installations. Think about that for a second.
That's that they want to account for.
There is no accurate number. I know that when I lived in the Canal Zone, and it blew my mind, man. It blew my mind. So I get down to the Canal Zone, and I don't know the actual number, right? I don't know, but we had Air Force bases. We had Howard Air Force Base. We had Albrook Air Force Base, two huge Air Force bases. We had Rodman. We had Fort Amador. We had Fort Clayton. We had Fort Kobe. That's all on our side that I can think of off of the top of my head. There were more there. But we had a submarine base. We had a Navy. You could drive across the bridge and look down and see 2 or 3 nuclear subs parked right there. You know, and this was outside of the United States. Howard Air Force Base was humongo, right? Fort Clayton had the School of the Americas. You know what the School of the Americas was? That is where we trained all of the dictators and all of the armies around the
for South America,
for South and Central America. Yes, School of the Americas, right there. It was a crazy thing to witness this huge entire military machine. They call it the Southern Command. It was huge, man. It was everywhere you went. So anyway. Most of that has been shut down. I don't know how many bases are still open down there, but that is just an example.
They shut one down because they had a better one built.
Well,
or a more modern one built.
Well, we gave away
or
the
one
canal.
That was hid.
Well, we gave away the canal zone too. That was part of it. We gave the canal zone back and gave the canal back to the Panamanians, and it was no longer under our control. But when I was there, it was one huge military, and that is just one example of things that are going on around the world all the time. And you remember this problem with Qatar? Remember that a couple of months ago, that big flare up and what was going on? You know why the United States didn't say anything? One of the largest Navy bases in the world is in Qatar. So what are we going to do? We can't shut that down.
No. And back to the the Panamanian Canal, Jim. Yes, on paper, I guess, and then in the world view, we gave it back to the Panamanian people. But we probably, without a doubt, have first priority to that canal if ever need be.
Yeah, well, yep. Even though we gave it away, remember when we went in and grabbed Noriega and we had shut down, we still managed to have an awful lot of forces down there. And
right.
I can't speak for. I mean, you have to look it up. I mean, when you look at a map of military installations that we have, my point is, some of these countries need defense. They can't afford it. I get that too as well. But who really is going to invade South America? Who's going to roll up on Brazil with a navy and invade Brazil? Who's going to invade Mexico? Who is really
going to invade Colombia unless you want to be another Pablo Escobar?
Yeah. So what do we do? What are we spending? I have no idea, man. But the amount of money that is continually spent on these 1,000 military installations around the world. I understand Guam. I do. I understand Guam. I understand Hawaii. I understand that. Diego Garcia, right? I understand certain things around the world, if as a staging point for whatever, right? But really, honestly, who is going to roll up on the United States? Who's going to roll up on South America? Who's going to roll up on Central America? It ain't going to happen. China can't even roll up on Taiwan, right? They can't. They don't have it. They've got an aircraft carrier. So what? There's a reason why.
Two aircraft carriers. Is that what China has now?
Two baby ones. Yeah,
two baby ones that have to have, they have to have the ramp deck because it's not even long enough for the catapult to get them off the deck.
That's exactly right. You know exactly what you're talking about.
So, I mean,
but what do you think about the scare of this? Do you think that there could be a false flag in North Korea to make it look like North Korea has done something? So we go in and take them out. Do you think that there's a possibility of a false flag?
I don't think that we will see any kind of hostility in North Korea. I think that you're just going to see more of this posturing, more of this talk that we can have a nuclear exchange or whatever. But I believe it's just more posturing, more of a way for Trump to get more money for the military, to get Congress to give us more, to allocate more money for this, defense expenditures, like we don't spend enough damn money. It's just more of the same that we've been dealing with since the end of World War II. If they've got to find someone to be a threat so they can justify spending, $15 trillion or whatever it is a year, Jimmy. It's astronomical the amount of money that we spend on our military. I mean, I think we spend twice as much as the next country. I think is China.
Right.
I mean, it's absurd. it's just truly absurd the amount of money that we waste on for what?
Yeah, I know.
For what? Why can't we have peace in this world? I understand that there has to be a defense for a deterrent. I understand that, but it's no different than Trump saying he's going to build a damn wall, across Mexico. It's preposterous. Enough's enough. If you continually build weapons and have weapons, there will always be someone to try to find a use for them weapons.
Yep. Okay, and I want to thank you, Steve. Great phone call, and we got to take a break right here, but you're always on point, man. Words of wisdom, my friend. Words of wisdom. Be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow night on the show.
Jimmy, brother, as always. Thanks for the time.
Steve Bunker. All right, Fade to Black. We got breaking news on North Korea. Yes, I'll get to all of that right after this short break. This is Fade to Black. Open lines. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Do you worry a lot? If you're forgetful, nervous, moody, or overwhelmed, chances are you're not protecting yourself from the ravaging effects of stress and anxiety. No matter the cause, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, your quality of life, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in as little as 1 to 2 weeks and increase your ability to recall facts, names, and numbers in 4 to 12 weeks. Calm and Clever was created by scientist Kurt Hendricks, a principal investigator in 2 NIH-funded studies on Alzheimer's disease. Try Calm and Clever for 2 months. You'll feel the difference. Call 1-800-758-8746 or go to calmandclever.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I
I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. Very special Fadernight tonight. We're doing it tonight, Monday instead of Thursday. Open lines, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get to you in just a second. Yes, the breaking news is North Korea has backed off its threats of bombing Guam. Okay, they pulled back the threat after days of trading increasingly stupid rhetoric with the United States President Donald Trump, and hours after China took its toughest step against Pyongyang in support of UN sanctions. North Korea state media has now reported that Kim Jong-Fatty Fat has made his decision not to fire on Guam after visiting a military command post and examining a military plan presented to him by his senior officers. But it warned that he could change his mind if the Yankees persist their extremely dangerous, reckless actions. Now, earlier today, China said that they were going to stop importing a long list of stuff, coal and food, seafood, I think clothes. There was a bunch of things that were named there, but that was it. They were stopping these imports. Iron, I think, was also listed, so I guess they export a little bit of this. It's just a way for China to give them cash, right? It's all propped up and fake. But so that was announced today. So Kim Fatty Fat apparently has backed off his threat. Pretty interesting to see this turnaround so quickly when money comes into play. But I think, well, that's what the media wants us to believe. I have my suspicions that China made a phone call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Bruce from Austin, Texas.
Hey, Bruce from Austin, Texas. Love Austin, Texas, by the way.
Yeah, man. Welcome Horns.
What about Guerrero's? You ever eat there?
Guerrero's?
Yeah.
Taco bar?
Yeah. Place rocks.
Yeah.
That place rocks.
Yeah, but there's some other places that are just as good, if not better.
Well, of course there are.
That's one thing that's cool about Austin. Man.
You ain't lying.
Places to eat.
Man, some of the best food I've had in my life is in Austin.
I'm telling you.
And when you're saying there's better places than Guerrero, I can't eat at them all, right? But I'll say that Guerrero's
yeah, you can.
Yeah, well, you can try.
Come on out and visit.
Right on, man. Yeah.
Hey, man, everybody else in California's moved out here. You might as well come on out, too.
That's what I hear, man. I hear Texas is the place to be.
This is my hometown, but I've wandered off a time or two to both coasts, as a matter of fact, and I've always come back home.
Yeah, Austin, man. Austin, most people, when they look at Texas or they think about Texas in a certain way, all cool, right? But what they don't realize is that Austin is an artistic, eclectic, forward-thinking, creative, awesome community. And you wouldn't normally think of that kind of community when you think of Texas first. But that is what Austin is all about, man. It's about the music. It's about art. It's about creativity. And that is the culture of Austin. It is just an amazing, amazing city. I'm being serious, too. You know what I'm talking about. Most people don't know.
Yeah.
You have to go to Austin
Jerry,
to figure it out.
It's I don't mean to talk over you. I apologize, but it's rapidly disappearing because so many people are moving here, and they bring their ways with them.
Yeah.
And that. Austin had you were spot on with what you said, because that is the tradition of Austin. It's always been forward thinking. Man, we've been mixing it up, cultures all my lifetime.
Right.
I was born in 58. So from the Armadillo World headquarters, I remember going to see Willie Nelson when he was nobody.
Right. Yes. I remember I went to an art gallery, small. There's so many of them there. But I walked in with a friend of mine and went in and I met the owner. And just like the coolest, the word I want to use is hippie, but that's not right. But but you know what I'm saying. And the coolest art gallery in the world. And
that's the right word, though, Jimmy.
And I was like, I'm in Texas. I feel like I'm in San Francisco. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what's on your mind tonight? Sorry about that, but I just love Austin. What's on your mind?
Oh, thank you. And lots of things. To start with, earlier you were talking about, you're a little younger than I am, and you grew up with the busing issue, right?
Right.
And the forced federal busing and all of that. Man, we used to fight every day in the cafeteria. It was just, you could count on it.
Right.
Everybody was afraid. Everybody. And it wasn't, I played football and ran track and all that, and I watched what happened to these guys that got bussed in from the other end of town. There was no bus system for them. If they played sports, they couldn't get home after football practice. They wound up having to take a city bus home, which we still lack in mass transportation here. So, these guys are getting home at 7, 8 o'clock at night after football practice.
Right, and had to turn around and come back. Right. Had to turn around and come back
for a second. 5 o'clock in the morning to ride the bus all the way across town.
Right.
So, it was a mess here. And fear was the biggest factor, that I think that drove all of that. And frankly, the black people didn't want to put up with it any more than the white culture wanted to.
Exactly. And, there are reasons why people live where they live. It may be money.
That's right.
And maybe they just want to live where they want to live, right? But that's can't, when you force that to do something that they don't want to do, you're creating problems. I remember, it's funny that you bring this up. I remember in junior high school, there was this one stairwell, right? It went from the second floor down to the first floor. That's where everybody hung out every day to get in a fight. Right? It was like, and it always jumped off. And the teachers didn't go down there. They knew what was going on. It wasn't like it was being monitored or, and it was, you're absolutely right. It happened every single day. There was a fight. I got in a couple little rough ups in that stairwell myself. I was like, man, I'm not putting up with this,
ours was the cafeteria because we were progressive. We had a brand new junior high when all this was going down. And we had a jukebox, all right, and in the cafeteria. So it was wide open, and that's where everybody congregated in the mornings before class, right?
Right.
And as the buses would come in, there'd be more and more people, and then, sooner or later, it would erupt. People fighting. You started wearing belts that you could fight with the belt buckle.
Yeah, man, I remember that. I'll share this story with you before I let you go. I get one of my friends, this little kid. He gets beat up in the stairwell. And I'm like, I go into the stairwell to defend him, right? I'm like, okay. And it was this kid, Nate, right? This black kid named Nate.
Right.
I'm not going to say his last name. And so I go in and Nate's standing there. I'm like, dude, what's up? And we get in a fight. Years later, years later, now I'm a senior in high school. I go down to Panama. I come back from Panama. I'm back in Indianapolis, senior year in high school. And I hear the kids in the neighborhood talking about this guy that can really play basketball. We had a basketball court in our driveway that we would play in every day, and have this. And they were like, man, let somebody get on the phone and call Nate and have him come over and play. I was like, Nate, who? And now remember, he was bused from downtown Indianapolis, right? This is in the suburbs. There are people in Indianapolis that are friends of mine that know the story I'm about to say. So anyway, I said, Nate, who? And they said his last name. I was like, get the hell, are you serious? So up come they somehow, and here comes Nate, and he comes walking up. This is the kid I got in the fight with, right, in 6th grade. And I take one look at him, and he looks at me, and we threw the body hug, and we started laughing, and we ended up becoming the closest of friends. But we laughed about the racism that went down so many years before, and how did we ever get in a fight, And we were such good friends, man, and really, really became really close all the way up until when I came out here to California. And it was just about what was the problems that were forced onto us. And we loved each other, and we just sat around. Yeah. Remember that time, man, I kicked your ass in 6th grade? I said, no, man, I think I kicked yours. No, I'm not so sure. But anyway, we laughed about it. And that's the way that I look at life. Why can't we just be like that? Let's put it behind us. Let's recognize the issues, but let's address them and move forward. That's all, man.
Well, listen, and to bring it forward to today with what's going on, or a couple of days ago, why not just stay home?
I know, right?
Why, if they want to have a march, let them march.
Let them march by themselves.
Keep the media,
Yeah.
Well, we came and nobody's here. It's not rocket science.
No, it's not. Hey, thank you for the phone call, and go to Guero's and let me know that it's still the same, will you?
I'll do that.
Have a great night.
Jimmy Church sent me.
Thank you so much. All right, man.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Hang in there.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Great phone call. Guero's, Austin. Austin music, Stevie Ray Vaughan, right? Austin city limits, but it's the music, the culture, one of the great cities here in the United States of America and the great state of Texas. Let's stay on the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. Can you hear me?
I got you. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Catalina.
Hey, Catalina. How are you?
Pretty good. Haven't called in a long time.
It's been a couple of years, but I keep my eye on you. So, what's on your mind?
I wanted to change things up a little bit, and first want to shout out to the Fadernight and chat and Twitter.
Absolutely.
And I tried to call on the Fadernight Jim Mars night, but I couldn't get in, so here I am. So just wanted a quick little few things I wanted to say there. First of all, I wanted to congratulate you and Rita on the 700 plus shows. Keep up the good work, and you're simply the best.
Thank you for that.
And second was wanted to thank you for having Jim Mars on your show, because it was on Fade to Black was where I learned about him and listened to all his amazing research. And I wasn't always into conspiracy stuff, but he made conspiracy theories like an easy recipe to follow and understand, which is what I think a lot of researchers how they should present it, because it made it more sense and interesting, and I could follow it. And so thank you, Jim Mars, R.I.P., love you.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, when your grandfather says to you, okay, now let me lay this on you, right? You're going to listen, and you're going to go, wow. Well, that's what Jim Mars did. Right? It was like It was like your grandfather. I mean, if your grandfather tells you, check this out. I don't know if you know this, but candy canes You know what I mean?
He said it in an easy way that you could follow it.
That's right. And you're just like, I didn't know there was a conspiracy behind candy canes. But my grandfather said there was. And it's the cabal, the Illuminati. Candy canes are going to take over the world. Well, you know what? Jim Mars says it, and he had a way of delivering that. You're so right about that, Catalina. And I would, and I want you to finish your thought. It's your phone call, but I mean it so much when I would watch him speak to an audience and the way that they got laser focused and listened to him. He had that ability to do just that. And, we're going to miss him. I miss him now.
Absolutely.
So, right.
He was the best, and now I'm more curious about learning things like he talked about.
Right. All right, so what else is on your mind?
The other thing I wanted to say was I'm really excited for you and Rita and Corey and the Faders and all those rest you can be joining up at Mount Shasta, the conference. I called in last year when I went to Mount Shasta to hear Corey speak for the first time, and it's a great place to absorb that kind of information, especially about space and ETs. I've spent a lot of time in Mount Shasta starting in the late 90s, so I know where all the cool spots are. So if you like, I can email you and read in.
Wait a minute.
You know, in case you have time.
What, you're not going?
I wish I could. I'm in Montana, so I can't go this. But, I know some cool places. You've got some special time. I can email you, if you want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I know you'll be busy.
Yeah, well, we're going to be up there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. We got to get back. We're going to be traveling Monday night and get here early. Get back to Burbank early Tuesday morning. But we're going to be up there every night. We're going to have night vision up there every night, so we're going to be able to do that. I'm so excited to be able to look at Mount Shasta with night vision and try to see what we can find there. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. And then one of the things I wanted to mention a few Fadernight shows ago, and I didn't call in, was the first time I listened to Fade to Black, I got really interested, was in March of 2014 because somebody had mentioned Fulcanelli, and that was a great show. And anyways, in that show, they broke down about his explanation of the angry sun. So I'm curious about, this angry sun thing in history. And could the eclipse that's coming be the angry sun Fulcanelli was talking about? Or could it, I heard Planet X was going to be crossing over in the constellation of Virgo on September 23rd. Could that be, with an effect of the EMP, could that be the angry sun?
Right.
Or could it be, a solar event, another solar event?
That's what
coming.
I think.
That's what the Fulcanelli is talking about.
Yeah, that's what I think. When and you're talking about the Great Cross of Henday. And the angry sun that is there. The angry sun to me means an angry sun, a pissed off situation, something.
Yeah.
That's what I see. I don't see, I don't, an eclipse is not an angry sun. An eclipse is the opposite. But
the cooling the sun.
Yeah. I see the angry sun as some kind of major solar event and the raising of temperatures and EM and all kinds of solar radiation and that kind of thing. That's what I see about the angry sun. Now, the way that Fulcanelli dated things and the coding that is there and the way that you have to decode it and break it down, Jay Widener does it really, really, really well. And that the dating, it's too complex for me to go into here now. But the dating of it and the way that he's got it broken down is very interesting. And you should go back and not only listen to that show. I've done a couple of Fulcanelli shows with Jay, and he does break it down in a video online. I think it's called The Secrets of Alchemy. If you look up Jay Widener, I just can't remember. I think that's what it is. And he breaks it down pretty good there, too. But go listen to that first show that I did with Jay Widener and Fulcanelli and see how it's broken down. It's my opinion, Catalina, the angry sun was something major, like a major heating up and the sun is vomiting, some kind of crazy thing. I don't think it's the eclipse at all.
No, it could be the solar event that some people are talking about. But some of us Fadernauts were maybe, if you didn't already have something planned for Thursday for replay, if you could replay the Fulcanelli, that would be awesome.
I don't know how we're. You know what? I thank you for the suggestion. Okay, but I think we're going to just replay David Wilcock from the night before.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. We just may do that because a lot of people are going to, that don't get to hear that show, that they'll come in and pick it up live on Thursday night. But I like the Jay Widener suggestion. Okay?
Okay. And I hope you and Rita have your solar eclipse glasses.
Oh, no, I'm going to look dead at it. I'll talk to you. Thank you so much, Catalina.
Okay. Take care.
You got
Bye-bye.
it. Great phone call. Man, she never calls in. It's been a long time. I said a couple of years. An angry son would be a CME. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I totally agree with you. So Kim just tweeted, so if you get drug tested for work, do they still test for weed? Oh, if you work at a pot store. I had heard somebody the other day, I was listening to talk radio, and they called in and said, because pot is legal, I think you should be able to smoke pot and drive, right? I'm thinking to myself, no, alcohol is legal, but you can't smoke, or you can't drink and drive. It's the same thing. What do you mean? They shouldn't be able. No, it's like you getting drunk at work. Just because it's legal. No, you got to be responsible when you smoke your weed. You can't walk around, drive around in a car and smoke weed. You can't fire up a joint at work sitting at your desk. You can't. If you are, I'm going to go back to the phones here in just a second, but what if you're a limo driver? What if you're a bus driver? What if you're a truck driver? Do you want somebody driving around in a semi-truck with 60,000 pounds of gallons of gasoline in the back smoking weed? No, you do not. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Live. Yeah, this is Neil from Malibu.
Uh-huh. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just thought I'd give you a shot here. I kind of like the Coast to Coast shows that you do.
Thank you.
And first time caller, obviously. I don't know if did you see that the show about Malibu, that underwater base, a couple of days ago?
You're talking about Rob Lowe.
It's Rob.
Yes.
Yeah. I watched that, and it didn't look like the same spot that they were at. The one where they showed Google Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look like it was the same spot that they were looking at.
Interesting. I haven't seen the show. They sent me clips for it, and A&E did their press release on it and gave me a little credit in the press release, which was cool. But I've only seen some outtakes of the show. I haven't actually seen the full on thing. So I know, wasn't his underwater, his UAV, wasn't it breaking down?
Yeah, they looked like they were against a bunch of rocks.
Right.
I only caught the tail end of it, but I really wasn't real impressed with it.
Right.
It didn't look like that same little spot where, it looked smooth. The actual underwater base looked smoother than what they were showing. It looked like a bunch of boulders that's stacked on something.
Right.
I don't know, but
right.
Go ahead. Have you seen the monoliths up there
on top of the cliff? No, I have not. I know that there is some ancient rock formations that were up there on top of one of the peaks, but no, I have. That's a heck of a hike. I have not been up there. I've flown over it.
Yeah,
I've flown over it in a plane, and we did go and shoot some video from up there, but I didn't actually walk.
there seems to be one off of Mulholland.
Yes.
Off of Mulholland and Canaan there, that looks like almost like a reptilian.
Yep.
Carving.
Yep. I've seen it.
You seen it?
Yeah, I've seen the pictures of it. Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. I haven't been up there.
There's also a couple of nuclear sites up there.
Oh, there's a missile sites. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Sites.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that.
Nike missile sites.
That's right. You can there. I've been to those. I've been to those off of Mulholland.
Oh, you have?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're all tied in. Okay, yeah, we used to go up there when we were kids, and the cops were really on it up there. We were sneaking in up there, and one time we were up there partying. And they came roaring up, and my friend tried to run, and they just hammered that guy so bad. They Rodney King'd him.
Yeah, nothing like living in the valley back then, man. It was a fun time. I miss those days. Those days were cool in its own way. Absolutely. Hey, Bill, thank you for the phone call. I got to head to a commercial break right here, but don't be a stranger. First-time caller. Thank you so much.
Hey, I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. That's what I'm talking about. First-time caller. I didn't see the Rob Lowe special, everybody. I did not see it, but what did you think if you did see it? Okay, we're going to take a break right here. This is Fade to Black. Very special Fadernight tonight on a Monday, because we're not going to do one on Thursday. More of your phone calls when we get back right after this short break. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black.
Here, and you are listening to my boy Jimmy Church on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter,
but listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. GetTheTea.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. GetTheTea.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Tepe.
I'm Matt Ray with America's First News. We all know if you're planning a trip, you should shop and compare, right? But why endlessly search the web when you don't have to? Flight Services helps you find the lowest possible airfare. Talk directly to a travel pro right now for the best deals available. Their travel pros have additional discounts not found on websites, and Flight Services provides 24-hour customer service. Call toll-free 844-845-9944. That's 844-845-9944.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black, Fadernight. Tonight on Monday. Thursday, we're going to be on the road. So we thought we would do that tonight. I didn't get to any fake news tonight, and I didn't get to any news that you know nothing about. But check this out. Costco has been selling fake Tiffany engagement rings. Costco. And they got fined, are you ready? $19.3 million. They were selling fake Tiffany engagement rings at Costco. Wow, I always walk past the jewelry thing. I take a look at the watches once in a while, but I never noticed that they were selling Tiffany rings. Were they in the blue box? Right? Wow, that is that is some of the great news I've ever been able to report on this show. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live.
This is Craig. From Minneapolis.
Oh, okay, Craig. How are you?
Great. We met at ECETI a few months ago.
Oh, hey, Greg. How are you?
Greg, yeah, great to talk to you again.
So what's on your mind tonight?
I was just looking at the great Mount Adams garage door pictures.
And
I'm wondering, so I had heard rumors that it's not there anymore. Have you heard anything more about that?
No, nobody's updated me in about a week, but there were pictures that were sent to me about, 10 days ago, and it was still there. But if it's gone, I do want to know. I'll make some phone calls tomorrow. How's that?
Great. I was just wondering if you had any more thoughts on any of that.
I think it's an opening. I mean, you saw what I saw. It's an opening.
Yeah, I know. I was right there with you.
Yeah,
I took some of those pictures you had on the wall there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a cave that was. There was some kind of rock slide. Because we could see the rock slide, we could see the debris falling out. So, but yeah, it's a huge cave, whatever it is. There's an entrance going into something, or was it covered up and then exposed? I don't know, but thank you. I have not gotten any news about it being covered up again. Now, wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah, I tell you, one of the that kind of turned me around. Some of the light show that we saw there that weekend.
Yeah, that light show was incredible. I mean, oh man, it went down there. I don't know if it was Friday night or Saturday night, but man, for about an hour, it got out of control, didn't it?
Yeah. What were you counting? You would count it up like 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
Some pretty sizable number of
flashes.
North, south,
Traverse
or blinkies.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a fun night. If you're going to go out for a night watch and night vision and stuff like that goes down where you don't need night vision, it's just flashing and oh man, that was out of control.
Yeah, that was naked eye. That wasn't night vision.
Yep.
So we're seeing some of that.
Greg, thank you. Where are you calling from?
Minneapolis.
All right, my friend.
That's my home base there. I had driven out there. I had driven out to East City. It took about a week and just traveled off the kind of dropped off the grid and traveled for a while.
Well, what's really cool is in a couple of days we're going up to Mount Shasta. So we're going to go up there.
I can't be there. I can't be at that, unfortunately. But I am going to go down to spend a couple of days right in the path of totality, and so kind of just look around there too. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Greg, for the phone call. Great phone call. Yeah, I haven't gotten any updates on Mount Shasta. If it has been covered back up, now we're getting into some interesting territory, aren't we? So, and somebody may be listening from Shasta right now. If you are, we've got a few minutes left in the phone in the show tonight. Give me a call and let me know if it's been covered up. I'll make a phone call or two tomorrow and see if I can get some images and see what's going on up there. All right? Okay, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Check this out. I love a good story out of Australia, and I've got one here. A cafe in Melbourne is giving its male customers a side of gender equity with their lattes. Now, the cafe is called the Handsome Her, and where men are asked to pay an 18% premium, right, on their lattes to reflect the gender pay gap. Men earn an average 17.7% more than women for full-time work in Australia, and this is according to a current government report. The difference is roughly the same in the United States, by the way. So far, the Handsome Her has collected a couple of $100 for Elizabeth Morgan House of Aboriginal Women's Services, and it's definitely fueled a conversation that is going down now. And apparently, this is what's really cool about this story. Nobody has protested. Nobody has said, I'm not going to pay the 18% premium on my lattes. It's not very much money. It's 50 cents or 75 cents. But it's the fact that they are standing up for this. And I find it just an awesome story. Now, here we go. Oh, by the way, apparently Rita just sent me a text that we're going to go do taco trucks tonight. I want to wrap the show right now. Taco trucks on the way home because our kitchen at the house is shut down. Shut down. Seriously, it is shut down. The United States State Department has expelled 2 diplomats from the Cuban embassy in Washington after the United States government personnel in Cuba reported some incidents which resulted in a variety of physical symptoms. Now, listen to this. Okay, now you've got to stay fully engaged on this so you understand the way that this is breaking down. State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert has not elaborated on the nature of the reported incidents or the symptoms, except to say that they were not life-threatening and that the matter is under investigation. The incidents resulted in a variety of physical symptoms, prompting some United States government personnel to leave Cuba. The State Department first heard about them in late 2016, and when asked the Cuban diplomats in Washington to leave in May, which they did. While the State Department has refused to publicly give any details of the reported incidents, United States officials say the symptoms that the staffers had experienced included the loss of hearing. Investigators were looking into whether elements of the Cuban government placed sonic devices that produce non-audible sound inside or outside the residences of roughly 5 U.S. embassy staffers with the intent of deafening them. The affected diplomats and their spouses began to experience symptoms of hearing loss. Hearing loss so severe that an investigation was launched and that it determined that they were at risk. But up to today, there has been no immediate official reaction from Cuba. There you go. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
You there, Jimmy?
Yes.
It's your favorite rocker.
Oh, hey, Scott. How are you?
Tacos and beers, as Jim Morrison used to say, right?
Man,
tacos and beers?
Yeah. Have you been to, what's that place, Salsa and Beer over on Lake Gershom? Yeah. Have you been there?
I've been there once. The tacos are out of this world.
That's what I hear. The places, every time I go by there, there's a line around the block. You can't park. You have to wait to get in. It must be good. I've heard it's great.
Yeah, I think you had a late night Weeders there because they get the munchies and they go over there and get the tacos.
Well, that's right. I used to, what was, do you remember, I know you probably do. Do you remember LP Sound, the rehearsal studio?
Sure, I do.
Yeah, in Cahuenga and Burbank. Well, next.
Did you rehearse there?
I never rehearsed there. I ran sound because I was always producing a band that needed to rehearse there before I took them to the studio. So
right.
It was run by a guy named Gary Patterson. Good old Gary. So yeah, everybody rehearsed there at one point. But anyway, next door was, I'm trying to think of that Mexican restaurant right next door I used to eat at every day. All right, it doesn't matter. Let's not waste airtime on that. What's on your mind tonight?
I hate calling you all the time, but you've got me going here, and my juices are flowing, and you've got me like a sponge here. North Korea has got this thing going on right now.
Right.
And I started reading this Unacknowledged by David Greer.
Right.
MD. And on page 190, there was something, they were trying to blow up a nuclear bomb on the moon, but when they sent it up, supposedly the aliens blew it up. Is that correct? Would they allow something like this to go on Earth? Would they blow this up if there's something like a nuclear holocaust started to happen? Would they do that? Because also in the book earlier, they were saying that there were some guys that were test rocketing some just nuclear rockets with just a dummy warhead, and something zapped the warhead like 7 or 6 times.
Right.
And they were told not to talk about it.
Right.
So I'm sort of confused with that, and I apologize.
No, there's no reason to be confused. Okay, the test rocket launch that you're talking about. Now, the video, it was shot on film. And when you look at the film of this, it's pretty interesting. It looks like this white ball goes out and circles the rocket a couple of times. There's allegedly, I haven't seen the footage that is missing from this, of it actually getting zapped by a laser. But the whistleblowers that have come forward about that incident, both back then and now, they did it when it originally happened and also today, say that that's exactly what happened, that it was zapped on multiple sides by this object. Very interesting. It did happen. Now, I'm not saying it was a UFO. I'm not saying it was alien. It could have been Russian. It could have been a lot of different things. It could have been a bird. I don't know. But something definitely interfered with that rocket on that test launch, no doubt. Going back,
Jimmy, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed here. But I sent this book to my father, and he read that exact thing, and he says, "How do we know it's not the Russians or someone,
right,
or even us, even us practicing?"
Right. Yeah, all of that. See, that's what I'm saying. The incident itself happened, but let's go a little bit further. The talk about firing nuclear devices and shooting stuff into the moon to do for a lot of different excuses has been going on for years. Has it actually happened? We haven't witnessed it from Earth. I don't know if there's something that it could have gone on without us knowing in some secret space program. Possibility of that, absolutely. Testing a nuclear device on the moon or trying to crack the surface of the moon, trying to get to minerals, trying to get to water underneath the surface of the moon, all a possibility. Is there another reason to do it up there? Maybe Russia's got facilities. Maybe there's an alien. Maybe there was a reason why we needed to do a nuclear detonation on the moon. Again, all comes into play. But what's interesting is it's been talked about over and over again in an official capacity, not tinfoil hat conspiracy stuff. I'm talking about in the official sense. But it apparently has never happened. Why? I don't know. But let me take things one step further. And this is where I find things really interesting.
Please.
Is Russia's attempts at firing satellites around Phobos. And the 2 times that they have tried it, both have failed. If you go and look at the photographs that have been presented by Russia, there are missing images too. But it appears that an object, flying saucer-ish, comes into view before the satellite gets destroyed, right? No contact made. Now, this didn't happen once. This happened twice. And if you go and look at Phobos and look at the photographs there is a monolith, a structure there. It is clear as day. Now, Buzz Aldrin has been talking about this for years. He says we need to go there. We need to go and investigate and see who built this. He thinks it's alien in nature. It so closely resembles what Arthur C. Clarke talked about with the monolith on the moon and Enceladus and Europa that I just find this very, very interesting. Have we known about this alien structure on the moon around Mars for a long time, right? And the fact that Russia tried to get there, Russia tried to investigate this, and both times the satellites failed and nothing has happened since. Were we warned off? Yeah,
fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. What are we, just a bunch of little children amongst grown-up adults, and they're trying to basically teach us something? Is that what's going on?
Well, there's that part. I firmly believe that our solar system has been investigated, flown by, driven through every single day forever by thousands of different ET civilizations. It's just
I believe you too.
It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. If we go and we look at 500 billion stars, and then we look at 1 trillion planets, and we look at and if only 1% of each one of these categories, and it comes down to, in the end, 1 million intelligent civilizations. Right? 1 million in our galaxy. How many of them?
If we know just about 1 or 2 of them, why are they hiding, the government or whoever it is? Why are they hiding it from us? Why shouldn't we all know about this?
Well, let's look at the timeline of the exposure of this. We only, since let's go with 1947. Let's pull a round number out. 1947, sure. 1950. So that is 67 years. 70. Call it 70 years of having to deal with this important subject matter with us. They don't know how to deal with it. They've been lying about it. So as long as they can keep us away, it was easy to keep us away from it, keep it away from us before the internet, before cell phones, before computers, before all of this. Now, today, we have instant communication around the world with anybody that we want. They were able to keep it, on the down low when they were dealing with newspapers and they're dealing with a couple of television stations. But today, we are able to communicate. So now, directly, instantly around the world. It's getting harder and harder for them to keep this away from us. Now,
I would really love to know how much they really do know. Boy, I'd love to know that.
Well, the question is, do they know everything, or do they know just enough? And what I mean by that is, do they know everything? I don't know. Do they know that, are they in contact with ET? Yeah, they are. How long this contact has been going on? I don't know. Are they in possession with 0-point free energy systems? Possibly. But
enough to kill people, Jimmy. Obviously.
Well, enough to lie about. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's my concern here. It's enough to lie. So it's not about, Scott, this is very serious. It's not about telling us that ET is here. We can handle that. What they are going to have to deal with is question after question about why have you lied to us and what else have you lied about. That lie spreads into a million different lies. A million. It's an infinite amount of lies that have been hit back to us. And they are going to have to answer for that. So how do you circumvent that? What would be the big plan? What would be the easiest thing to do? Well, simply tell us that they've made contact with a planet. Not that they are here, but that they've made contact. ET's reaching out to us, and we've reached out back. They're
something like Serpo or something like that.
Serpo could be, but just give us that little thing, and then they could continue with. Okay, now we got this information. Now we got this. Now we got some. Instead of addressing the fact that they've been lying to us for 70 years, just make contact now, expose us with that, and then hit us with everything afterwards. That's the only way that they could deal with it.
Yeah, that's kind of like what Tom DeLonge is doing. Now, he made a statement saying that somebody had emailed him or texted him something that said something like, with a link of aliens creating mankind, then creating religion, be something to keep secret. Is that what he said? I think
it's something similar to that, but that's exactly the point. I mean, just imagine, this is the thing. Just imagine that if, a craft does land. I mentioned this on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I was making fun of this, but it's really a real situation. Imagine that ET steps off and starts yapping, right? And Channel 7, in LA, KABC is in their grill with a microphone. And he goes, man, I'm just going to let you know that, we're here and I'm the guy that you've been calling Jesus. So let's get this all cleared up. Imagine if that actually happened. Holy crap. Now, it's not so much the Vatican or the government. That's all comes into play. But I'm talking about the way that the education system and what we have been taught over all of these years, that we would be able to step back and go, it all makes sense. Right?
It would to me. It would to me.
Right. And it would certainly be an interesting day. And I would not be surprised. If you look at the way that the Bible is written and the Quran and other religious texts from around the world in India and Japan and China, and you look at the way that things are written, the ET aspect to that, the ancient alien aspect to that, the UFO, the spacecraft and the beings and angels, whoa. And I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would step back and go, well, that certainly answers a lot of questions.
And I would finally answer some questions, exactly why I called you 3-4 weeks ago and asked you what the value of man's existence was. It would make sense to me, and I could go to bed being happy.
Yes. It would relieve a lot of tension. It really, really would. It would put a lot of smiles on people's faces. Hey, Scott.
Well, Jimmy, I always have the best conversations with you, my friend, and I'm sorry if I call you too much, but, man, I love you, and I love your show.
Never be a stranger. Thank you so much, Scott, and be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow night right here.
Take care, show. Bye-bye.
Yep, that wraps another Fade to Black. We did Fadernight tonight. Thank you to everybody that called in. Great back-to-back phone calls. Absolutely perfect show tonight. Tomorrow night, Laird Scranton is going to be here. We're going to talk some ancient history and Egypt, Dogen, all of that. Man, I cannot wait. We're going to take a trip to education land tomorrow night. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee, Jonas, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. Don't forget uniwiki.org, uniwiki.org. Go check it out, take the survey, participate, because it's the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Until tomorrow night, everybody be safe. Go Backley Tappy.